call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 3, any citizen desiring to be heard. Number 4, consideration of possible action on approving minutes.
So motion. Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, consideration, or number 5, I'm sorry, consideration of possible action on approving ODOT reimbursement claims to Coatesfield Service for right-of-way services for Luther Road Project, JP blank blank blank, in the amount of $1,350 and $835.
That's 8,000.
Well,
Got a
it
zero
sure
on it.
is. Sure is. I'm sorry. 8,000.
Mike, you need to sign with the yellow plus the board.
I was fixing to argue with you, but you're in.
This should
Hate to admit it on
complete,
camera, but
this should complete all the Luther, I think. All the Luther right away is acquired.
Good.
Should see more of these.
So that $8,350 is actually for 3 different parcels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was, if it had been for one, I would have been a bit more curious.
I like the $835 better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all that CIRB money. Comes straight from that. They've been really slow about paying them too. Speed up now if they got a
I'd
budget.
entertain a motion on this.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, consideration of possible action on approving a general mutual cooperation agreement with Oklahoma County for construction, maintenance, and repairs on Mutual County line roads.
And just as a refresher, this is what they came up with last year. This is just the overall that says if there's a project on a county line road between Oklahoma and Logan, that they can work together
Right.
on that.
I move we approve that, and then I've got a comment after.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
My comment is, there's a part of Waterloo Road there that adjoins Oklahoma County that's a part of Edmond city limits, apparently. And when I talked to the county commissioner over there, he says that we'll have to coordinate with the city of Edmond on anything there. So we probably need to look at doing some sort of coordination with them, because there's about 5 to 6 miles of Waterloo Road there that is in city limits, and he didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, I'd say if the city annexed it, they ought to maintain it.
At least half of it.
Yeah. I agree. It's something we ought to check into.
Yeah, they're drawing the tax base from it, I guess is.
They'll be flipping the bill. Good morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
How are you?
Doing well, how about yourself?
Better than I deserve.
Yeah.
Number 7, consideration of possible action on approving fiscal year 17-18 detention transportation agreement with the Office of Juvenile Affairs.
This is their first of 2 options on the main agreement that was signed with them last year. There's 2 copies here, and they're both marked.
Look at it first.
So what's the options here?
Now, they're exercising, when we renewed the contract with them last year, it came with 2 options to exercise renewal. So they're exercising the first option to renew. This is where the sheriff's department gets reimbursed for transporting the juveniles. In fact, that ties back into one of these other items where we're gonna approve the detention transportation claim. That contract ties to that.
You want reimbursed?
Yes, sir.
Can we transport them on foot down Broadway and have them pick up some trash on the way through there?
Well, we can look at that. I don't know. Probably the laws, probably.
I move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 8, consideration of possible action on approving 17-18 contract with Task for petroleum evaluation services for the assessor office.
It has not changed. It's $40,000, same as last year.
Can we try to negotiate that down?
Well,
Full Trump on this. Negotiate.
all right, Donald, go for it.
Hey, I can do it.
I would assume that our assessor, seeing how it's on her behalf, had done that.
I wasn't sure. I guess we can go over to Trish's and get a copy
Of what?
Well, they've got all the, provide map layer file with all the pipeline segments mapped. Displaying when available, pipe size, type, year, line number, project owner, operator.
So it says they're mapping them. So how would we go back and get a copy of them there?
I assume all you have to do is ask for it.
The assessor.
I'll definitely ask for it here directly.
No doubt.
I move we approve.
Second motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. 9, consideration of possible action on approving the resolution of ETR renewal, 17-18 fiscal year.
Mr. Chairman, we're renewing this while we're waiting for a couple of our reimbursements, and once that happens, we'll be sending all the ETR funds back that we have from District 1 back to the CED.
I move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Good old ETR.
What is ETR?
Emergency, what is it?
Transportation revolving.
Revolving, yeah. Basically funds that they loan to you when you have a big project, like utility relocations and all that stuff. It was used for the Coltrane Road project starting back in 2012, ETR funds. We used to pay for that, and then we get reimbursed back into that fund, and then we return the fund when we get finished with it. And we are
Perfect
finishing
sense.
with it.
Borrow the money from ODOT. then when ODOT pays us, we reimburse ODOT.
Of course, they get a 6% handling fee.
Oh, sure.
Don't need to tell you more. Number 10, consideration of possible action on acknowledging receipt of notice of tort claim from Edward Klein and forwarded to ACO County Claims. Did we receive it?
Yeah.
I'll move that we receive it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, consideration of possible action on approving the detention transportation claim for April 2017. Deposit this right into general government.
Motion.
I got the handcuffs for you.
Second.
They voted for it, get all of them.
I'll second the handcuffs.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Chairman, we have nothing for 12 and 13.
Moving right along.
Okay, anything 14?
I think we probably have some discussion on that.
Okay. 14, consideration of possible action on upgrading changes to our security of the courthouse. New sheriff?
Now,
Actually, I asked to have this put on the agenda, and with the board's approval, I'd like to turn this item over to our clerk to discuss some of the issues we have with the front end of the courthouse as far as security and maybe some improvements we need to make.
this came up, as y'all are aware, I sent an email out that, I forget what day it was this last week, and when I came in at 5:30, the front doors to the courthouse were not only unlocked, but ajar. We found them unlocked before, but this time they were actually ajar. I know they were locked at 4:30. The security deputy always actually locks them at 4:30, so somebody coming in after hours, which we have many people with keys and access, that's normal, failed to lock it and or double check it to make sure that it had lock. The doors themselves are aged, and we've had them repaired repeatedly. They're an old-fashioned pin drop system, the pin drops with the key. I think that it's probably the time has come that we need to look at changing those out to a more modern style door that we can have a better idea that it stays locked when it's supposed to. Bear in mind, we have actually 3 doors to the courthouse. They're all keyed alike, so I think anything that we change, we would need to look at what we would do with those other 2 doors. I did talk to Damon about this, just to confirm, because there had been a schedule set in the sheriff's office that during the night, some of the employees would take a walk around this building, and kind of look at some things. So I did touch base with Damon. He said that he would make sure that continued to kind of do that. Our biggest problem with what we have is that people are just going out and not double checking things.
So what kind of door are you talking about?
Well, I think there's a lot of options out there that I'm not familiar with. I personally would like to see something that would be more along the lines of a key code or a fob, such as the sheriff's office uses. Not only can they be tracked better, right now for us to change a key, we actually manually produce keys and pay for that cost every time something happens. I think if you go into something a little more current, that's easier done. But I know it's going to mean replacing the doors themselves.
What do you say, Sheriff?
Well, the beauty of the fob system is you can set timers on it. So at 4:30, whatever you want to set it at, those doors are locked. You have to have a fob to get back into it. Once that door shuts, it's locked. One of the issues is somebody, be it us, you, whatever, that monitors that for holidays and stuff like that. And you can set the time to where at a certain time during the morning time, it automatically unlocks.
How
There's
does-
pros and cons to that.
How does, and I don't know over there, because we have to have the emergency outs so that are your doors that way too? Will they, from the inside, can
Yes,
you
all our
push them
doors,
in?
you just push
Okay.
them and they open.
I couldn't remember, because we have to be able to do that. I'm trying to remember who does your door work. I mean, we have it, we can look at it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Anticipate it to be a cheap fix. The sheriff's department didn't want to go to a half glass. They like the idea of the full glass just because with the security deputies there, it gives them a much better field of sight. But we need to do something. We can't continue. This is not the first time, even in the last 6 months, that I've come in so early and found an issue.
See, yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do this. I mean, working on secure data centers, there's things called man traps that are probably the most expensive, and that's a rotating tube where you punch in your code, you walk in, and it closes and then opens through so it's a one at a time thing. That's probably the most expensive and most intrusive, but just the regular magnetic locks, like I think the sheriff uses, would be a great addition to the front of the
Yeah, we don't, ours aren't a mag type lock.
Okay.
Ours are a striker lock. So basically on a mag lock system where it has a mag up there that actually secures the door to where you have to have a release of some sort to exit that door. Ours being striker plate only, as soon as you push that bar, twist that
The
bar,
emergency plate works better than
Yeah.
Okay. And it's probably less expensive than a mag lock as well.
As far as I know, it is.
Right.
I'd say get some quotes and see what we can do.
See where we're at.
Would you work with me on that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Alrighty, 15, consideration and possible action on utilizing inmate labor for ground maintenance and other county projects.
This is another thing that came through. The trustees maintain all the grounds for the sheriff's building and out all around there. One of the deputies that works with the trustees in that came and asked me about using the riding mower that the county owned that's been in storage since we started using a maintenance company. Since they've had access to a riding mower and not push mower, it's not taking them near as much time to keep those grounds. And so the deputy wanted to know about if you all would be interested in using trustee help for the grounds maintenance for this building, the courthouse building, and then not having to pay a service to do that. I've spoke with the sheriff about it. Damon said that he was great with it. I think the only concern that was brought up was being sure that we have that available with trustees, because not always do we have trustees available for that. So that would be the only concern, as far as I know.
Well, I think as far as we can schedule the mowing, as to when we're going to be doing that, we can make sure we have trustees available.
So we can stay on top of it then.
Yes. The only thing that I see as far as an expense goes is like some equipment, like an edger to actually edge everything, make it look nice and clean instead of trying to use a weed eater to do it. And I think we can do as good a job if we have the right equipment to do it.
So there's some cost savings there that would pay for the equipment, it sounds like to me.
In 1 month.
Yeah.
I think we're currently paying about $650 a month. Now, the company that we're using also keeps all the spraying done, and I think that would still be an option, that we go ahead and have them maintain the spraying schedule, but go over to using this.
I say we do it.
Sounds good.
I'll move that we approve.
I second.
We got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion carried. But on the same token, Sheriff, I was curious, the other day I've been doing a little project down at the fairgrounds on the road.
Mhm.
Would there be an option that if they had some painting or something to do, that we could utilize the inmates down there as well?
Yes, the one thing that we would have to do, and me and Marvin have talked about this, is get somebody jailer certified, because once you're jailer certified, then you can maintain those inmates. Because we stand a lot of liability just to give you guys, and you guys go out, because there's things that you gotta be aware of that legally you can do and can't do with them. But we're looking at trying to use that workforce as much as we possibly can. Because it benefits us and it benefits them.
Damon, could you kind of go over what the training requirements
Sure.
are for one of our folks, one or two of our people to do that?
Basically, what you have to do is you have to attend the jailer certification training. We teach that in-house. It's basically you go over the state jail codes, and once we get you trained, comfortable to be able to take the test. The state comes in and actually administers that test. I mean, I can get you all the material and stuff like that on it. In fact, OMAG is the one that, I know that's kind of not a good thing here, but they provide the training for it. It doesn't cost us anything. It's one of the things they do for us. But we've got several of our new staff that we're going to have to get trained in that. So I can get you guys information if you guys have a designated person or whatever. It used to be a 3-day school that you had to attend, but over the last few years they've allowed agencies to teach it themselves through our instructors, and the state just comes in and takes a test. The state comes in and administers a test.
Well, whenever you get ready, let me know and I'll send a couple guys.
Hi,
Same here.
just so that you all know for sure, Paul, our on-site maintenance here, has taken that. So we have one person that
Yeah,
has.
Paul will come by and get an inmate or two and go and do things around the buildings and stuff like that. So
What would happen, let's say that we was utilizing them at the fairgrounds and we was trimming trees or something. What about the liability?
it's ours. The county bears liability of it.
The insurance, medical liability, that kind of stuff, yeah.
So would they fall under our workman's comp, or how would that work?
I don't think they would, because they're not on the payroll. They're not considered an employee. They're considered a resident.
So we just,
Yeah.
Well, it'd be the same if one of them slipped and fell in the
Yeah,
shower and broke
Yeah,
an arm or something, yeah.
Our medical contract would have to cover that.
so it would still cover it at the fairgrounds, or?
Yeah, they're still in our custody. But one thing that I would suggest, if we do start doing it, just like with these guys, I saw a guy, one of our detention deputies had one of our guys out, was weed eating edging. He didn't have on safety goggles. He didn't have on any of that stuff. I was like, here, put these on, because the last thing that we need to do is be paying for an eye. And we need to make sure that these guys have the proper equipment.
Sure.
Gloves, boots. We're working on getting some of that stuff as we start to use them more to make sure that they are protected from what we would protect our people from.
Yeah. They sell them boots down there at the surplus by the box fulls.
Yeah, we're gonna go down there and pick some up.
I think it'd be a good deal, but hopefully the fairgrounds, they can utilize some of them.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. 16. Consideration possible action on approving the following permit or road crossing permits. Logan County Rural Water.
Yeah.
What say you?
Yeah, they told me about that. Yeah, they're gonna go under Seward, I think, Seward for that pipeline company that come through. What, there are multiple buildings there.
Was that a motion?
Yeah, make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. 17, consideration possible action on approving the consent agenda items.
Also consent.
Transfers from previous fiscal years to this one.
Charge that bar some money.
So we're saving you guys $650 a month.
I'm
I
fixing to
expect a
be.
percentage of that to be returned, not ours.
I expect we'll pay for it.
I don't think OMAD gives it away either.
I see a hook in the deal.
Triple hook.
Think bait on the end of it.
Kind of disappointed there's no donuts with this.
I know. I bet you get a discount. You should have brought them.
Next time.
Instead of frequent flyer, it's frequent buyer.
That's right.
326,000. We have 31 days on this.
Now, is that at Custer County? I'm looking at this distribution of funds. Is that at Custer County has to be picking up that mower that we got from them? And their road crossing permits, they brought in almost $30,000 in road crossing permits in that one district.
What do they charge, you know?
Well, I didn't get that deep into it with them, but it's, I can find out. I mean, that's not a problem, but I just thought that was interesting that they get more in road crossing permits than two districts getting O&M money to get finished. Yeah.
That's the way Kingfisher County is. Theirs that 1 month was over 100,000 in road crossing.
Of course, they're at District 2 in Custer County. He's surrounded by wind turbines everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere out there.
What's he have to say about the wind turbines? You ever make a comment?
Yeah, said they pay a nice fee. That's about all he'd say on it.
I think they receive a nice fee as well.
Receive.
From the state.
Oh, yeah,
That's your
yeah.
fee.
That tax kickback they get? I said that. I did.
It's going away though, right?
Sure it is.
Supposedly.
T-set. I'm amazed we got any of that. They've been spending it on television commercials left and
They
right.
get about 20,000 a month.
Sure do.
Yeah, if they quit spending all that money on television commercials, we could, they're pretty expensive. That, and, was it State Treasurer who runs that commercial about lost funds or unclaimed funds? Yeah.
But I think on that one, they actually say on there, or written, that they don't use state
Yeah.
money to pay for that. I don't know what money they do use, but
Unclaimed property, it's not
Uh-huh.
really state money, that's the thing, see,
yeah, they're just the trustee of it.
right. It's like the difference between appropriated fund and cash fund. Sort of.
Sorry about that.
Always at least one.
Yeah.
It's my fault. So I sat there and read it and skip out.
Easy to do. So sales tax is a little low.
Maybe a tad.
But it
Oh,
started
hold
on
on.
days.
Not that one, that money, that's April money.
Oh, that's April. Okay.
Aha.
Hey, you need to sign down below too.
So I can strike through like the rest of it.
So we'd have a match.
I mean, I do that to make.
I want it to match. Is that it on the consent?
That would be it.
Really?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Send them all.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye, all opposed. 18, any citizen desiring to be heard? Hearing none. 19, comments, announcements by the board. Only thing I was gonna say is, not that I'm trying to get in the fairground business or anything, but maybe once a year we ought to go down and inspect the fairgrounds and kind of see. It might entice us to maybe invest a little more money that way on some projects.
I agree.
Kind of get a better perspective of things.
We may kind of, if you haven't been there in a while, I mean, you know, you just don't think about it. I just thought maybe we ought to start visiting the fairgrounds once in a while and talking with the fair board and see if there's anything we can do to upgrade. It's the only thing I got.
We got Plains Pipeline coming through the county, and they started, gone through my place. Got a little piece of that. Otherwise, I don't have anything.
Anything?
We got about 3.25 miles of road we're gonna be paving, starting this summer. Well, it is this summer, as soon as it dries out enough. Over Broadway on west of Simpson west of Broadway, and then we've got a mile between Coltrane and Bryant on Simmons that we're going to pave, and then we've got that middle mile of Forest Hills we're going to pave this year. So we've got 3.25 miles we're going to lay down ourselves, and appreciate the help on the 1.25 miles of Bryant coming north this
No problem.
last month. We appreciate your help on that. That's all I have.
Should be getting that piece of Prairie Grove here shortly, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we're getting it fixed up and getting it closer.
Sweet.
Alrighty, number 20, consideration possible action on adjournment.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. What do you say, Sheriff? Aye. Aye.